Hey, and welcome to this week's 3x3, where we're talking about storytelling in a business context. We're going to go through 3 tips in 3 minutes. Rahul, let's start with you with the first tip. Go ahead. 1 minute.
So, the first thing that you want to focus on, and the key difference between a casual story and a business stories have a point. They have a relevant business context and reason why you're saying it. We call that a frame of the story. So, you want to avoid being the person that you tell a story at work and everyone walks away and they have a different idea of why you told the story and they go, okay, I don't know why Rahul mentioned that. So you want to avoid that. So always have a key point that you're trying to make at the end or in the beginning. Say, hey, I'm telling you this story because it's really important that we work on blank. Or, one thing that I walked away with after that experience was this. That way you control the frame, you control the message, and people aren't walking away with a bunch of different reasons why. Again, I said it's different from social storytelling because you tell a story at a party or with a friend or something, and they get a certain message out of it. It doesn't really matter, right? You're just trying to entertain or just convey an experience. Not a big deal. Business, make sure you do that. Have a frame.
Great. Thank you, Rahul. And next point, Peter, please share tip number 2.
Tip number 2 is know your context. For example, in some contexts, it's appropriate to share stories. In some contexts, it's not appropriate to share stories. If you're doing a keynote, for example, it's appropriate to share stories. If you're giving a presentation at a kickoff meeting for your team, for your sales team, for your engineering team, marketing team, it's appropriate to share a story. If you're giving a presentation for a job interview, it's appropriate to share a story or two. If you're giving a presentation that's 45 minutes long, a very dense, technical, data-driven presentation, it's appropriate to share a story. If you're sharing a story, however, if you're sharing in a board meeting for 5 minutes, then maybe it's not appropriate to give a story. If you're giving an executive briefing for 10 minutes, maybe it's not appropriate to give a story. Make sense? So for example, the next time you have a meeting with Elon Musk, be careful. Be careful. He might fire you.
Unless you're talking about a story that you have on Mars.
Exactly. You go to Elon Musk, you have 5 minutes. Ellen, let me tell you a story about my childhood. Out!
Out of here. Thank you, Peter,
Get
for
out
tip
of here.
number 2. All right, we're going to bring Rahul back in here. You guys each have 30 seconds to share tip number 3. And begin.
So, the last point here is that you want to keep your stories concise. Because both of you have probably been in this experience. You're sitting there listening to a story and you're like, oh my God, where is this going? And especially if you're getting started out with storytelling, you don't want to be going on and on because you're still developing your confidence and your skills. So zoom into a particular moment in time. That's going to help you be more concise. And keep in mind that in a business context, if you're doing the frame, that you want to keep it concise because people will have a little bit less tolerance for you rambling on and on.
100%. 100%. Just remember, you are not Netflix. So don't go on an epic journey telling your story from childbirth and reincarnation and to now. Just be specific, zoom in on specific moments, share a specific lesson in a specific context, and you will do great.
Great. All right. Well, thank you for joining us. This is 3x3, 3 tips in 3 minutes, how to be a better storyteller in a business context. We'll see you next time.